Hello everybody and welcome back to On Point HQ, and yes, it's another Turnip28 video because I'm enjoying myself so much in working my way through these. Come join me on my latest meanderings, my latest foray into the wonderfully bizarre world that is Turnip28. So what have I been up to recently? Well, if you've seen any of the previous videos that I've made recently about Turnip28, you'll know that I've been looking at the various cults that you can take in the game. Very briefly, what you do is you have your regiment, and you can assign certain cults to the regiments. This bestows different rules, different characters, different buffs and abilities. But the best thing about this is that you get to really let your creative modelling skills go a bit haywire as you put them to good use and make the different figureheads for the cult. So examples of these, so on screen now we have my wonderfully, I really enjoyed making this, the Knights of Shellwood, so they're giant snail riders. We have the Procession of Woe, which is a cart full of mud and bones, and that's a root shrine for the Procession of Woe. And then we have a unit of Grogs from the Slug's Lament. So I was looking through the cults again. It's like I really do enjoy building these, and I came across the cults called the Tall Man. Now, in essence, the Tall Man is meant to be a wicker man. Awesome film. The original, that is. It's an awesome film. I would highly recommend checking it out. But I digress. But in the rules, it does say that you can use something else that instills fear. As long as this thing can be seen on the battlefield, it's a relevant tall man, so to speak. So in the rules, it recommends a cauldron, an actual wicker man, gallows. So this got me thinking, because I was looking through a collection of MDF buildings that I'm currently using to build a Wild West town for Dead Man's Hand. Now, part of this was a gallows, and that got me thinking, and so I made this. Quite possibly the largest gaming piece I think I've ever made. In fact, I'm going to have to zoom out so you can take this in. So what do we have here? What do we have here? So this is an executioner's block, but this is going to act as my tall man. It's going to sit on the battlefield as long as it's within sight. It'll be able to be used as a gaming piece. It will instill fear, and it will bestow benefits upon my regiment. And it was a massive amount of fun to make. This just started off. So let's just look at this. So this here, the actual basis of the platform, it's a gallows from TT Combat. It's made of laser cut MDF. And all I did was I didn't put the gallows on there. So I made, let's just zoom in here. As you can see, I made a chopping block there out of balsa wood. I don't know, really, this was just one of those creations that just took on a mind of its own, and this happened. So what's the background to this? Well, it's supposed to be an executioner's block to instill fear, and this poor chap here is on his way to the executioner's block. So what I thought I'd do is just run through just what it looks like and the various bits and pieces that I use. I've also got at the end of this a sort of test stand of something that I've done for Turnip28. A little bit different, but I'll show you that at the end of this. So let's have a look what we got here. So as you can see, it's quite big, and it's mounted on several MDF bases. People have asked me a lot about these bases, and these bases are 6 centimeters by 4 centimeter laser MDF, and they're very, very versatile. So what I did was I glued them together, then I applied the gallows. And then, because I didn't use the actual gallows structure, I just wanted the platform as a bit of a centerpiece. Then I used a bit of balsa wood to make the executioner's chopping block there. And then I got to thinking about who needed to be part of this. So the guy being led, I'm trying to zoom in because is that going to work? Yeah, there we go. So he is a Warlord Games figure from from Hail Caesar, one of the ancient Britons, I just thought his pose, it just fitted. So at the back there, we've got him being led to the executioner's block by 2 of the Fireforge living, nearly dead or living undead peasants. Then we've got the executioner himself there. He's largely a Perry's miniature with a head from the what are they from? Well, the Frostgrave cultist box. I thought that head was really appropriate. So then we have them. We've got 2 guards overseeing proceedings there. Can you see them? So they are my usual go-to of Perry's Napoleonics with 100 Years' War Perry heads. Some tufts, bit of paint, job's a good one. Here we have, I've got no, this is where things sort of got out of control. So what do we have here? We have a, we have some sort of skeletal witch. I've got no idea. I just thought it looked cool too. That body there is from Warlord Games American Civil War artillery, it's a cannon, and you get a lady figure with it. And I just didn't put her head on. I just added a skull and a witch's hat and then a skull onto a stick thing. But I just thought that worked really well. And then what's an execution without some goggling bystanders? So these are just Perry's, a mix of I think they're Perry's mercenaries from Wars of the Roses or the European Wars. Sort of medieval looking, some tufts, some weapons, being very nosy and checking out the execution. And then the whole thing was painted in my usual my usual Turnip28 painting style. On the top there we've got a box of skulls as well, just because, well, I just thought it was missing something, and what you can't go wrong with a box of skulls, can you? So that was Matt and MDF box there, and I just loaded it up with some Games Workshop plastic skulls. It just really fits. Then let's have a look, get that back in focus. I then used an absolute ton of Vallejo mud to cover the whole base in mud. We've got it going up the stairs, we've got it all over there. They're treading it everywhere. They need some kind of doormat around here. I just don't think that's going to happen. And then I used the water effect to make some puddles and splashes, and that was that. Again, it's probably one of the strangest creations I've ever made, but I just love the way it came together, and the mix of figures is really good here. You've just got plastics from all over the place. That's going to give me nightmares. That I've got no idea how I even came up with this, but it seems to work. But there we go. So that is my rendition of the Tall Man for my Tall Man cult. And yes, this is actually going to be used in games of Turnip28, which I'm going to be running. If you watch the Plastic Crack podcast, which you really should, on a Monday 8 o'clock, which I am very proud to be part of, we're having CrackCon 2 in May this year, and I'm going to be running participation games of Turnip28. So look out for videos and photographs from that in May. It's going to be a bit special. So there we go. Really looking forward to that. So that is my Tall Man. Now I did mention that I've been experimenting. Well, that's all you can do with Turnip28 really, is experiment. So I made this. So my good friend Jim sent me through the post a Turnip28 care package, for reasons, just because he's a very generous dude. And one of the things he sent me was a box of Napoleonic Victrix. Oh, sorry, Victrix Napoleonic British. I thought, how can I change these? So I went through my bits box and I found a load of Beastmen heads and Skaven heads and just added them to the Napoleonic British bodies. And so I think my next Turnip28 regiment is going to be a whole regiment of these chaps, because I just think, if you know me, I'm not the most prolific painter of Napoleonic uniforms. I just don't get along with them. And there's a debate, are these classed as painted Napoleonics? I certainly think so. Yeah, their heads are a bit different, but they're Napoleonic in my eyes. So that's a bit of a sneak preview of what my next Turnip28 regiment is going to be. Ooh. Yes, them. So before we go, let's have one more look at the tall man. There we go. The size of that, like I say, quite possibly, if I'm going to zoom out again, quite possibly the biggest gaming piece I've made to date, but a lot of fun to make, and I'm really looking forward to getting this used in games of Turnip28. Brilliant. So there we go, that's the latest update in my strange but wondrous journey through Turnip28. Got any comments or questions about this or gaming in general, just leave them down below in the comments section. But as always, thanks for watching, do take care, may your dice roll well, and I'll catch you all in the next video. So bye bye for now.